Sometime before 1987, a woman was riding a bicycle when she noticed some strange weakness in her right side. She went to bed hoping it would go away, but woke up and the weakness persisted. She went to a doctor who noted her slurred speech. When she came back weeks later, she had developed what sounded like a foreign accent.
Foreign accent syndrome is a really rare language disorder. There's actually only been 100 reported cases in the last 100 years.
Foreign accent syndrome is characterized by the development of speech abnormalities that seem to others like a foreign accent.
One clue that these new voices are not genuine accents is that nobody can quite put a finger on what accents they are. Blumstein et al. 1987 says that English patients can be heard as having an accent that ranges anywhere from German to Chinese. Miller 2010 says that the condition can be temporary. He also asserts that it can be very long-term.
Foreign accent syndrome can last for days, months, or even for forever. Foreign accent syndrome affects segmental aspects of speech and suprasegmental aspects.
As for segmentals, a person with foreign accent syndrome may produce phonemes that do not exist in their native language, or may realize them in ways that are not natural to their native language.
This woman, Kath, has lived in the UK her entire life and has spoken only English. Listen to how she pronounces these English words.
Can you say wish?
With?
Yeah. No.
No.
About.
About.
My
Ma.
grandfather.
Granddaughters.
Kath clearly struggles to pronounce the phonemes of her native language. But why are her labored productions perceived as a foreign accent and not simply as disordered speech? In 2022, Nick Miller proposed that this is because the misproduced phonemes in FAS appear on the IPA. That is, they are sounds that appear in natural languages, and they are not the unnatural sounds that come with typical disordered speech.
As for suprasegmentals, the rhythm and stress of words is often changed. For example, rising intonation at the end of sentences is common in European languages.
Listen to Kath's rhythm and intonation as she attempts to sing Happy Birthday.
Now try it with some words.
How da de do de, how da de do de, how da de do da de, how da de do do.
Kath is clearly having some difficulties. Besides her unintelligible words, she puts equal stress on every syllable she speaks. Blumstein et al. 1987 lists additional suprasegmental abnormalities previously reported in FAS individuals. Failure to reduce unstressed syllables within words was common, as were poor transitions across word boundaries. Finally, both word-level and sentence-level intonation were impaired, with sentence-level intonation contours often showing a rising pitch at the end of the sentence.
Since the condition is so rare, causes go on a case-by-case basis.
Blumstein et al. 1987 write, "Little is known about the pathophysiological mechanisms which produce such a syndrome. Since that paper was written, new research has come out about the potential origin of FAS. Riles and Perkins, 2017, suggest that FAS might not be its own unique disorder, but may just be a milder form of apraxia of speech. Apraxia of speech means difficulty with speech movements. Often, this is caused by a stroke. Although many cases of FAS do occur after a stroke, some have other strange causes, such as waking up from dental or jaw surgery or acquiring the accent after experiencing extreme headaches. Riles, pictured here, made a very important discovery in 2009. In an fMRI study, he discovered abnormal lesions in the left brainstem of his patient. Generally, people who develop foreign accent syndrome report a period of slurred speech, which evens out into speech that sounds foreign.
Actually, my voice changed from a slur to what sounded, or what people told me sounded like an Italian or European accent.
According to Miller, there is a weight of evidence supporting the view that foreign accent syndrome is a specific manifestation of more common speech disorders that arise in neurological illness. Foreign accent syndrome is typically associated with other disorders, some of which we learned about this semester in this class. These include apraxia of speech, forms of dysarthria or dyspradia, and also people with foreign accent syndrome frequently experience aphasia as well. This syndrome is rare and there's lots of overlap with other things. It is typically diagnosed by the sudden change in how a speaker talks and by the perceptions of others thinking that this person now has a foreign accent. There is no specific treatment for foreign accent syndrome. The cases reported seem to suggest that one's speech might go back to normal on its own. However, if it does not, speakers may choose to do speech therapy to relearn their old way of speaking and to train their speech. Also, because foreign accent syndrome is similar to apraxia and often has overlap with other disorders, they can apply the same treatment methods as for those conditions. Although people with foreign accent syndrome can still effectively communicate, often they feel their identity has changed. Sometimes it could affect your social life and people can view you as an outsider or from somewhere else when you used to speak a certain way. We learned in this class about voice prints and how the way we talk can say a lot about ourselves. It would be very strange to wake up one morning and sound completely different. Foreign accent syndrome is more than just a disruption to one's speech. It has an impact on both public and private identity. For example, people with foreign accent syndrome might be viewed as foreigners or outsiders, even though they are not, and they have never been categorized that way before. In the following clip, you can see someone with foreign accent syndrome experience some of these feelings and this loss of self.
Your accent is a very important part of who you are. So when you lose that, I sometimes question, where do I belong? It's a very lonely place to be sometimes. You're a very lonely place to be.
Speech therapy is definitely an option that some people take to try to regain their old identity.
It is important not to confuse foreign accent syndrome treatment with foreign accent reduction therapy. While foreign accent is a natural feature of L2 speech, foreign accent syndrome is not natural and thus requires treatment for a person to feel like themselves again.
Thanks for watching,
And hope you learned something that you didn't know about foreign accent syndrome.